Howdy do! So for this video, we're going to be talking about Guinsoo's Rageblade Jhin, as well as Guinsoo's Rageblade Jinx, and also probably the right way to pronounce Guinsoo's. But furthermore, a reason I want to be talking about both of these champions is A, Rageblade Jhin's kind of exploded lately as a thing. You can check out the Jhin subreddit actually for a lot more information. Even ggGetJinxed, who, as far as I'm concerned with my bias, is like the go-to person for Jhin information, how much they play and study the champion, they would know things like this very well. So you can go check out the Jhin subreddit, post by them, and just the JhinMains period for more information about builds and runes. We will talk about some of that in this video as well, but I want to give credit to those guys, and I'll probably link that in the description down below, because you really should go check out those posts and that subreddit for the most information on this. And when it comes to ggGetJinxed, as far as I'm concerned with my bias, they're again one of the best Jhin players to go to about this stuff. But furthermore, I want to talk about Jinx as well, only because I want to use her to kind of explain why this build works so well on Jhin specifically. I'm going to be using gameplay footage against bots, mainly because I just wanted to show you some numbers, more so than trying to see how this works in ranked against live opponents. So that's why you are seeing gameplay footage against bots, so I can show you specifically damage and stuff, easily be able to build those items, and even use the practice tool, just to show you the exact numbers and builds and things like that. So first and foremost, Jhin, of course, the one that's actually being built on, the one that's getting a lot of attention right now. One of the things first and foremost to note about the build is Rageblade, like most other people now in this patch, you're not supposed to build it first. It's supposed to be more of a last item. So the build kind of goes right now: Essence Reaver, Infinity Edge, Rapid Fire Cannon, Boots of Swiftness. Then as like a fifth item, you either go like a last Whisper item for tanks and such, or for more AD, you can go Bloodthirster. But then the Rageblade last. And then when you get the full stacks on the Rageblade and you hit that fourth shot, because of the way Jin's scalings work, because of how he is as a champion and how he gets different stats because of attack speed and such like that, it actually does a lot more damage on him than it can even on other crit 80 carries, even with this full build. Because if you look at a champion like Jinx, for example, when she has the same build, she actually can do quite a bit of damage to enemy champions. Up to 900 at full stacks, even 1000 at one point, and that's, actually quite a bit of damage as well. But it's still not Jhin, who can hit into like the 1600s, especially with the fourth shot, how it crits, and just the way the scalings on his kit works. So the basis of this and why it works, I guess is what I'm saying, is now that Rageblade with its stacks gives adaptive, percent damage and stuff, it works very well with Jin's kit specifically, more so than other AD carries, because of how he absorbs those stats and creates, extra damage from it. We are talking about an 80 carry who, not that you should do this, but if you built 6 Infinity Edges, you would have over 1000 AD. So even though you won't have the DPS that a Jinx would, you would still kind of melt towers in like 4 shots, because that 4th shot will also crit as well. So, that's one of the reasons I bring it up on Jinx, because I do want to show that, yeah, it actually, as a build itself, can do quite a bit of crazy damage, mind you. There was at one point where we're doing a lot of damage to enemy champions on the Fountain, even though they're bots, it's still 1122 damage, even as Jinx. But Jhin can just actually make much more use of it than they can. One of the other examples I will show as well is I did go into the practice tool and wonder, well, what about if you got like Triple Inferno Drake? What if you actually got like a really great game when it comes to dragons? How much even more damage can you do with this? Why is this kind of a thing? So again, against bots, because I really want to show you the numbers more so than anything else, but on the 4th shot, we do 1516 damage to Rise. Even though he was level 7, the point is he was at full health. So it's not like he was missing health, he like had a lack of scalings. Sure, his armor and all that, and he's not full build level 18 or anything like that. So that plays maybe a little bit apart into that number. But just to get an idea for comparison of just how much damage Jhin specifically does with this build. Again, later on in this video, we kind of just take a couple more shots at Rise, and then I also going to show how much damage Jhin does with this build to objectives, because of course, well, what about DPSing objectives? How much damage will you do? 1778 damage to objectives. We one-shot Rise for 2042 damage. And then we want like 4th shot the Nexus for 3200 damage plus. And that is something that only Jhin specifically can kind of do. What he lacks in DPS with this build is made up for with the adaptive damage, especially when you stack all 6 stacks. Because that's one of the things to note that I maybe did note early in this video that I probably should have, that I apologize for. You do need to get the stacks on to be able to get this kind of crazy damage on Jhin regardless though. So even though he only has 4 shots, you do gotta work a way to figure out how to get the 6th shot and the 4th shot lined up. The stars gotta kind of align to be able to do crazy damage like that, but when you do, he's untouchable by other 80 carries. So even though I like Jinx, and of course I like experimenting with Jinx, so of course I tried to mess around with Jinx to see if I can maybe make this work on her, no, she cannot even reach that level that he can. And that's why I think this is kind of a thing. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm a very experienced Jhin player. I'm not going to sit here and say I theory crafted and made this Jhin build or anything like that. No, I'm not saying anything like that. I am saying, though, as one of my favorite AD carries after Jinx is still the first, I do find this a very actually kind of interesting build, and I do think I understand why people are abusing it, or even afraid that Jhin might suffer future nerfs or nerfs to the item because of it, right? I'm not saying go abuse this in solo queue while you can, I'm just saying go abuse this in solo queue while you can. And the second, the final clip that I'm kind of showing here is also kind of Jinx in the same scenario. Fighting Baron, fighting Ryze, teleporting behind Ryze because that's a fun tool in the practice tool, and just shooting at him to see how much damage that she can do. Again, we can get up into the 1000s, but we can't get close to the 2000 or 3000 Jhin can. So, also why I'm making this video is so we can also just kind of discuss, if you really are like an expert in this, build or the runes and stuff like that, maybe you can better explain to us that don't really know about it all that much in the comment section down below why this build is so good and suddenly came out of nowhere. One of the things I will mention about runes is it looks like in the secondary tree a lot of people are taking what's, it's not celerity, but absolute focus for bonus damage when you're above 70% health, as well as gathering storm, so when the game lasts, every 10 minutes, you're also gaining more AD and just doing a lot more damage. So, with that said, if you are someone that really knows about this build, feel free to educate us in the comment section down below, and if you came here looking for information about this build, why it's a thing, look in the comment section down below for other people who might have, told and explained a bit better than I did in this video why it's a thing, what the build kind of looks like, which I will conclude the video with once again, in case you're kind of skipping around and you didn't hear before. So it looks like the build kind of is Essence Reaver, Infinity Edge, Rapid Fire Cannon. With Jinx, I did a variation, I actually went Hurricane instead. Maybe that's not a good thing. And then with Jinx, I also varied the boots. Instead of Boots of Swiftness, I went the attack speed boots. I also went Conqueror on Jinx as well, just in case we actually want to try experimenting with this on Jinx as well. I'll just throw that out there. But on Jhin, Essence Reaver, Infinity Edge, Rapid Fire Cannon, Boots of Swiftness, Last Whisper or Bloodthirster, Rageblade last. You want to build Rageblade not first. You might be able to get away with it as an earlier item than last, but do not build the item first. When it comes to runes, you can go, I've seen 3 different runes for people taking in precision. Both Lethal Tempo, because of how Jin's stats work with attack speed, but most likely Fleet Footwork. Haven't seen really anyone take Press the Attack, but some people have been arguing, the exposure, right? You expose somebody, maybe you do more damage, fine. Afterwards, Triumph or Overheal. You can also go Alacrity or Bloodline, and then Cut Down or Coup de Grace, depending on if you're going against opponents with more health than you. And then, of course, we talked about Sorcery, that's secondary tree. Absolute Focus for the extra damage when you're above 70% health, which if you're playing well, hopefully you are, and then Gathering Storm, so you get extra damage every 10 minutes in this game, so when it goes late game, your 4th shot is actually just going to be stupid. So, that's all for this video. In the comments down below, once again, let's have a discussion. Why is Rageblade Jhin a thing? Do you think it's good? Do you think it's bad? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Do you want to try this build now on other AD carries, see what they can do as well? But, I don't know which video will be next, because life be quite a mess. So until next time, take care from the Fire Guy FS. And once again, check out the Jhin subreddit. I'll probably link it in the link down below, because a lot of the information I got outside of experimenting in my own games here was from the Jhin subreddit and things that they were talking about over there. You can even maybe catch I Keep a Taco over there. It's a great time. Go check out the subreddit.